What's going on, everyone? It's Greg back with some more MIR4, and today we're going to talk about the Arbalist skills. We're going to review the skills, and I'm going to tell you what situations they're good for, and then we're going to go over my skill bar setup, which I will say is still kind of a work in progress, but I think I'm pretty close to what I like right now. So let's go ahead and get into the actual skills and what they do, and we'll talk about that. So let's go skills. All right. So first and foremost, you have your ult, which is arrow rain. I mean, this is standard for everyone. I mean, you got your invincibility for 3 seconds. You're going to use this in a pinch sometimes, or just to deal some extra damage on the bosses and stuff. You know, you can't use it in the auto, so that, you know, is unfortunate, but that's cool. It is what it is. Next up, we have quick shot. So quick shot is going to attack multiple enemies. I currently have mine at tier 5, and honestly, you know, you want as many tier 5s as possible. That's really what's going to really step up your game until you get to the tier 8. So tier 5, you got the bash damage. It's one of our bash skills. It will do bash damage if it's marked. So that's the key thing with the bash on a Arbalist. The enemies must be marked, and we'll talk more about that when we get to other skills. But these skills right here, I don't know, this is the same color, but it doesn't apply as the ultimate. But this purple one, and this purple one fall into the bash category. So this one is also going to give you a, you know, do more damage if you hit a crit, which crits are of course important. All attack damage boosts against bosses, and over time you gain focus, and this is a big deal. So this is going to stack focus on your character, and once you hit 9 stacks of focus, you will hit 150 additional crit. Doesn't take much to get there, especially when you're AFK farming. Maybe a little bit more on like bosses and stuff, so if you're only hitting like one target, but definitely easy to hit while AFK farming. Next, we have Pain Strike Gale, and this is going to make you invincible for 1 second after casting, and will also mark the target. In terms of the kick, the only thing I haven't quite figured out on this one is I think it does AoE damage. I'm not sure. But I do think multiple targets get marked, but I haven't been able to confirm that for sure. Once you do get tier 5, you also get a crit damage reduction decrease, which means you do more damage, and that's for PvP. So this is more of a PvP move, so to speak. You know, giving that little bit of AoE damage and the movement, it is also good in AFK, especially if you're having any survival issues. I do like to stand in one place because you have less of a chance of getting stuck or something like that. But if you're in an area where like you just like gradually lose health over time and you need a little extra boost, then Pain Strike Gale can help you out there. So I'll activate that while AFK. But this more so used in PvP, or just if you're general PvE that you're controlling the character. Next, we have Illusion Arrow, sorry. And again, this powerful move. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is the AoE move that goes from your body. So you basically create a circle around you, and it shoots everything in that range. The interesting thing about this is it does make you walk toward the enemy. So it's not, I guess in that respect, it does take you out of your normal range, which is maybe a slight downside, but it's a very powerful move, and it's good for both PvE and PvP because one, while you're casting it, you're immune to knockdown and stun, which is good. Also, you get an evade buff of 150 for 5 seconds, so you get basically an extra 150 evade every 5 seconds out of every 22 seconds. Then if you hit a crit, it's going to boost the damage, skill attack damage, and then all attack damage boost against monsters. So definitely good for AFK farming. Then we have Burst Shell, which is laying a bunch of bombs on the floor that explode. This is really just an attacking move. It does do physical and spell defense minus 80, so good for both PvP and PvE, but probably more of the lower end in terms of the importance of the skills that get fired off. Next, we have Flash Arrow. This is another important one because it marks the enemies. It's going to give them minus 100 accuracy within flash grade, so basically within the, that's interesting. I'm not sure what the difference is, why this one's minus 50 for 5 seconds, but then why is it minus 100 within the flash grenade blast range? That's basically once it explodes, I guess everyone in the range gets that. Then you get accuracy minus 50 for 5 seconds and crit minus 100 for 8 seconds. And then when in darkness, 40, 45, 50% chance for blind. So we have a chance to blind the enemy here. But you'll need to be in darkness, and I don't think we had a skill that did darkness yet, and we should be coming up on it. Now, Heavenly Bow. This is one I really wish I had tier 5. It's a very important move. You can do bash damage. Once you're at tier 5, of course you do more bash damage, but at tier 5 you have a 5% chance for the cooldown to just reset. So you can basically use the move twice. Then there's a 10-second cooldown. So it'll be, you can use it twice within 20 seconds and you have to wait another 20 seconds. Only a 5% chance at tier 5. At tier 8 it goes up to 15%. Then finally, if you whenever you eventually down the line get a tier 10, 40% chance to reset. That's amazing. Also at tier 8 you add in a monster attack damage boost, which is nice. So I really hope I can get this to tier 5 soon. Mind's Eye. This is our buff. Very important buff. I mean, you're going to have this always on. You should always be using this. Your physical attack plus 60, accuracy plus 100, crit plus 50. As you level this up, some of the numbers go up. But then once you hit tier 8, again, this is a very important level to hit. Crit plus 80. You can dispel blind. This, I would love to have this. And then you get a boost on your MP potions, which is nice. But again, those are way down the line. I just figured I'd show that. Ice Cage tier 5. This one I really like. It's basically crowd control. You chill the enemies for 8 seconds. You hit them with movement speed minus 50 for 10 seconds. When chilled, you got a chance to trigger frostbite and decrease movement speed by 100 for 5 seconds. 50% chance to freeze and stun the monster for 3 seconds. That happens quite often, and it is very nice in crowd control and just giving you time to heal up. Then we have Obliterate Shell, which is our last bash move. You know, got the chance to knock down. Skill attack damage boost plus 30%. When stunned, all attack damage boost plus 40%. So as you can see here, it's good to have the enemy stunned and then hit with some of these other skills. Now, Venomous Shell. This is a big one. Big one for PvP. Still good for PvE because you gotta trigger that bash. And I believe it kind of hits more of the enemies than the kick does. So it's gonna mark so you can trigger your bash. As you can see the trend here, the green skills trigger your bash. They all mark the enemy. Then you can also you're gonna do the darkness for 8 seconds, and you can get up to 3 stacks. Recovery skills, recovery amount minus 30% for 10 seconds. So I'm sorry, you're triggering darkness on the enemy. I'm sorry, I think I said you get darkness. Then the recovery skill amount minus 30%. This is the big one. This is going to reduce the heals from Taos and things like that when you're in PvP. So definitely a good support skill that the Arbalist has to support their party in PvP. Then Seeking Bolt. This is our big hitter. One hit wonder, hitting single targets. Immune to stock knockdown and stun while casting, but you can still be taking damage, which it can hurt you. That's why you don't want this in AFK farming. Upon successful critical hit, 20% chance to trigger soul destruction. 100%, which is to stun for 2 seconds. Nice 2-second stun there. So definitely good PvP and boss move. If you're just doing some general like working through main quests and stuff like that, you can have this on as well, but mostly used for bosses and PvP. Next, Cloaking. So this is one that I don't know, I have mixed feelings on Cloaking. It's definitely a good move to get out of a pinch. It's definitely a good move for sneaking around and breaking through defenses and things like that. And honestly, I had a lot of fun with this in our last war, where I broke through defenses multiple times to just kind of just play around and see what I could do, run around. I had people chasing me left and right. I mean, I was really just playing around, and it was really fun. I had a lot of fun. I think my most memorable one was I did break through. There was a lower end defense at Bishan Valley, and I broke through that. They were trying to attack me. I guess they were all like lower level, and so I was getting evade left and right. They couldn't kill me. I got through the choke points, and then I flew, and I had people chasing me for a while. And I went to the crystal. There was like a crowd of people standing at the crystal, so I just started attacking the crystal. And of course, you know, we got all these AoEs. I think I got like 8 kills right there at the crystal. It was just really fun. They had like some lower end people there. It was really fun. From there, I just kind of flew around, and eventually I died. Of course, when you are a little squishy as an Arbalist. I'm not gonna deny that. I do miss the Lancer for that particular piece, but I absolutely love playing the Arbalist. It's just, if you're Arbalist, you're not gonna do good in solo PvP, as much so as if you're in a party PvP. If you're in a party, supporting a party, definitely better, you know, because you got other people that they're gonna focus on. I mean, you might end up getting targeted, but you know, I could probably end up getting targeted. But at the same time, having that support there is definitely helpful. And if you do have that support, then you can lay down a lot of damage. Now, don't get me wrong, so 1v1, you're still very good in PvP. Kind of depends on the accuracy of your enemy, and you know what skills you can get off. If you can get the skills off in the right order, get some stuns in and things like that, you can do some major damage. So those are the skills that we have. Let me talk about how I have them lined up. So my slot 1 is my main bar here, and as you can see, I have 2 moves that are you know, the ones that trigger the bash. And even though this is probably a little bit more PvP, just so I don't have to change things around, I like to have that on my first bar. One, so I can use it in PvP, but also so that, you know, if I'm doing some farming and stuff, that, you know, I still want to use that move, because I believe it seems to have a bit better spread to spread out the marked debuff, and that way my moves light up and I do a lot of bash damage. Now, a little different from my Lancer, I do not focus bash damage on my Arbalist. It's better to focus crit damage, and the reason why is, you know, you're gonna get a lot of crits on those bashes anyway. It's not really a need to focus on bash damage. And I'll be honestly, overall, what I've been learning in the game is most classes can get a lot of crit and do some good crits. So it could be that bash may not be the best thing to focus on per se. Still good, especially if you can't achieve that crit. But once you start getting some epic stones and things like that, if you get some with crit, I would definitely experiment with how high can you get your crit, and can you get it to where it's worth having more crit damage than it is necessarily bash damage. But that's some experiments you got to do on your own. Arbalist is an easy choice. You have to go for crit and crit damage because you have buffs related to that. And of course, your bashes are still going to crit, so you're still going to do more damage anyway. But that's why I have my 3 bash damage skills on here, because you still want to trigger these when they light up. And then of course the sniper shot, I want to have, you know, easy control over that. It was still definitely hard to decide what to put on slot 1 and slot 2. I do switch a lot. I wish I could have both slots up at the same time, but it is what it is. Of course, I got my buff here toward the end, and then my 1 unused skill down here at the end, because, you know, I just use that when I need to clutch up. And then the kick is back here just because, again, I deactivate it sometimes, not used in every situation, but it's there. This is the one I debated on. I really like this move and this move, but you know, my slot 1, I had to put my bashes there and have 2 of my marked skills just to make sure I can maintain the bash and get the extra damage. That's kind of my thinking there. If you know, again, this is not like the Bible. Do not sit here and take this like it's like you need to set your bars up the same way. Do what feels comfortable for you. But that's my explanation of the way my bars are set up, and hopefully that helps you in your decision. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about the skills or anything like that, let me know down in the comments below. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on so you know when I post new videos. If you're enjoying the videos, hit that like button, and I will catch you in the next one.